It started as one of those mornings you don't plan to remember, you know what I mean? The kind that feels so normal you assume it'll just fade into the background of your life. No stress, no rush, no expectations, just a dad on a bench, a kid on a swing, and a few quiet hours that were supposed to belong only to us. 3 sentences in, and I'll say it straight. I didn't wake up that day thinking I'd be reminded exactly how fragile normal can be when the wrong person decides you don't belong. I work a job that eats time for breakfast. Long weeks, late nights, constant pressure, the kind of work where you're always on call, always thinking 2 steps ahead, always carrying responsibility, even when you're home. And when you're divorced, when you only see your kid every other weekend, if you're lucky, time becomes something precious, almost sacred. So that Saturday, I shut my phone off. I made pancakes, extra syrup, no lectures. My daughter Lily laughed syrup on her chin, talking about absolutely nothing important, which is exactly what made it important. Then she asked to go to the park, the same small park near our place, and I said yes without thinking twice, because why wouldn't I? The park wasn't special. 2 swings, 1 slide, a couple benches, some trees that hadn't decided yet if summer was really over. Lily ran straight for the swings, her light-up shoes flashing with every step, and I pushed her higher and higher until she told me she could do it herself now. That moment hit me harder than I expected, pride mixed with that quiet ache parents get when they realize their kids are growing faster than they're ready for. So I sat down on the bench, maybe 20 feet away, close enough to watch, far enough to let her feel big. I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't thinking about work. I was just sitting there watching my kid fly back and forth, and for once my chest felt light, calm, like maybe this was what life was supposed to feel like. Then a police cruiser pulled into the gravel lot. I didn't notice it at first. Why would I? I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was in a public park in the middle of the morning watching my daughter play. That's it. End of story. But apparently not, because the officer noticed me immediately. She stepped out, scanned the park, and her eyes locked onto me like I was the only thing worth seeing. A black man sitting alone minding his business. And somehow, that was enough. She walked straight toward me, hand resting near her belt. I looked up, gave a polite nod, the same one you give any stranger passing by. I figured she'd walk past. She didn't. She stopped right in front of me, close enough that I had to tilt my head up to meet her eyes. No greeting, no small talk, just straight into it. Who are you here with? I remember blinking, actually wondering if I'd heard her right. Just me, I said. I'm waiting on my daughter to finish on the swings. I pointed behind me where Lily was kicking her legs, completely lost in her own world. The officer glanced back for maybe a second. No smile, no acknowledgement. Why this park, she asked. You live around here? And that's when something inside me tightened. Not anger yet, more like instinct. The kind you learn early, the kind that tells you this isn't a friendly conversation. Still, I kept my voice even. Yeah, a couple blocks away. We come here all the time. She crossed her arms, leaned in just a little. I didn't see you walk in with anybody. What are you actually doing? As if sitting on a bench watching your kid play needs clarification. As if there's always some other explanation when someone like me is involved. I took a breath. I'm sitting here watching my kid play. That's all. There was a pause, heavy and uncomfortable. Then she said it. You got ID on you. That moment hits different. Because it's not a question, it's a statement, an assumption. I felt my jaw tighten, but I didn't raise my voice. Yeah, in my wallet. But I'm really just a parent at the park. I remember emphasizing the word parent, hoping it would land. It didn't. She held out her hand. I gave her my license. She studied it like she expected it to tell her something new. My name, my address. Right there, 2 blocks away, exactly what I'd said. She flipped it over, looked back at me. This says Maple Ridge Drive. That's right. And you're here with your daughter. Yes. What's her name? That question felt wrong. Not curious. Not friendly. Like a test I could somehow fail. I hesitated for half a second, then answered. Lily. She's 5. She looked back at Lily again, longer this time, watching her swing, and then turned back to me and said the thing I still hear in my head sometimes. How do I know she's yours? I don't think people understand how heavy that question is unless they've lived it. How do I know she's yours? Like fatherhood is something I needed to prove. Like the way she looked at me, the way she ran to me every time she fell, the way she called me daddy. None of that counted. I felt anger rise up, fast, hot, and sharp, but I swallowed it because I knew exactly how this could go if I didn't. Because I'm her father, I said slow and tight. I'm sitting here watching her play. That's what parents do. She didn't respond. She just stood there holding my ID like she was still deciding what I was. So I made a choice. If she wanted proof, I'd give her proof. I stood up slowly, hands visible, and called out, "Lily, come here for a second, sweetheart." Lily jumped off the swing and ran over, arms wrapping around my legs. "Daddy," she said, breathless. "Did you see how high I went?" "I saw," I told her. "You were amazing." The officer crouched, slightly changed her tone, that fake friendly voice people use with kids. "Hi there. What's your name?" Lily glanced up at me, pressed closer. "Lily." "And is this your dad?" "Yes," she said, like the question was ridiculous. "That's my daddy." Even then, the officer hesitated, stood up, still holding my license. The silence stretched out thick and uncomfortable until a voice cut in from behind us. "Officer, is there a problem?" An older white woman was walking her dog toward us. A neighbor. Someone who'd lived there forever. She looked from me to Lily to the officer and frowned. "That's Evan and Lily. They're my neighbors. What's going on?" I watched the shift happen on the officer's face. Recognition. Calculation. She looked at my license again like it suddenly mattered more. The neighbor wasn't done. "He works non-stop," she said. "This is one of the few mornings he gets with his kid. Why are you bothering him?" The officer stiffened, handed my ID back without looking at me. "Have a good day," she muttered, already turning away. The neighbor shook her head as the officer walked off. "I'm sorry," she said to me quietly. "That wasn't right." I shrugged, because what else do you do in that moment? "It's not your fault." "Still," she said, "you should report her." I looked down at Lily. She was quiet now, holding on to my hand a little tighter than before. "Yeah," I said. "I think I will." That night, after I dropped Lily off, I sat at my kitchen table and typed everything out. Every question, every look, the way she held my ID even after my daughter called me daddy. I requested the body cam footage. It took weeks, interviews, reviews, but the footage didn't lie. No reasonable suspicion, no crime, just bias wrapped in authority. The department suspended her, required training. A letter of apology showed up in my mailbox, stiff and formal, more about covering themselves than understanding what they'd done. I read it once and put it away. Here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. The next time I took Lily to the park, I couldn't relax. I noticed every patrol car, every stranger. The piece from that first